And now it's time for our third and final speaker, Tanya Unkovic. And Tanya is no stranger to adversity. She's experienced it, written about it, and spoken about it. Tanya now coaches and mentors individuals and business owners on how to come back even stronger after adversity and use their experience as fuel to move them forward in life. Tonight, Tanya will share with us the easy strategies she uses and shares with her clients on how to make deep internal change so that you can show up once again with absolute certainty for your one magnificent life. Let's give Tanya the stage.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm going to start with a personal story which happened about 3 years ago. My husband and I, Grant, we decided to do something really bold and courageous, and for me, very much step out of our comfort zone. And we decided to go and live on a beach with no one else really. There's only about 30 other couples that live there. Now, for me, this is a really tough thing because there were no shops, not one, not even a dairy. So I'm someone who came out of Hawaii with 23 pairs of shoes once, and the customs officer said to me, well, thank you for supporting our economy, ma'am. So as you can imagine, this was a really tough thing for me. We decided to just do this for a year. I was going to finish my book on resilience, and my husband, he was going to commute and just do the normal thing. And we'd spent 6 weeks unpacking, so it was quite a chore, and we went to bed one night. The last thing I remember thinking was, oh my God, I'm exhausted, and Grant said the same. I looked at the time, it was 9:40, and then we fell asleep. As we were drifting off, we heard this slight bang, and we both went, oh, okay, don't know what that was, let's go to sleep. Anyway, 5 hours later, the next thing I heard was the roar, the absolute roar coming from his voice. The house is flooding. And of course, I jumped out the bed, and the next thing I saw was 50 tons of water. What 50 tons of water does to your home, our new home. Anyway, here's me thinking I was a resilience queen. I was going to write about resilience, but little did I know that my 1 year sabbatical was actually going to be 2.5 years of more research and development on what resilience really meant. And really, the water that cleansed my house, in a way, it cleansed me. I knew that it was actually going to be the thing that finally got rid of those limiting beliefs that I had that were holding me back in life. Now, I know that we've all been through something hard in our life, right? And we're all still here, which means we've all been through 100% of our worst days ever. So now when I think about the flood, when I think about other things, I know that there's nothing in the world that will scare me or in some way make me feel fear. So tonight what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you the things that I learnt during that, 2 years, my sabbatical, that year when I thought I was going to write, but actually I ended up being a project manager. I ended up being the one that looked after my husband, the one that looked after my cat, the one I had to re-identify who I was again. So I'm going to share with you the things that I knew that I had to do if I wanted to make meaning out of it, instead of let it drown me, excuse the pun. So the first thing I had to do was I had to get a bit honest with myself and make a decision. Okay, girl, you're going to either let this totally destroy you for the next 6 to 12 months, or you are going to make meaning out of this. Now, the reason I share this is because some of you may have heard me speak about the issues that I had with food in my life. They started when I was a teenager, and I call it the second hardest thing I've ever had to deal with in my life. And so, of course, here am I with all of these guys in the house and all that, and I'm baking for them and making sure everything's going, and I'm noticing the food is coming back for me. This is how I'm coping again with life, and I'm going, I can't believe this is happening again. The last time I had to deal with it was when my late husband passed away, and it resurfaced then. So here I was again. You've got to make a decision, girl. Get honest. I had to get really honest with myself and go, what's life going to be like for you over the next 6 to 12 months if you start using food for comfort again? Imagine what your life is going to be like. I had to get honest, and this is what I invite you to do, is ask yourself some big questions. How is life now? If I keep doing what I'm doing, what's it going to be like in 6 months' time, 12 months' time? And when you ask and answer these big questions, what happens is you do need to go a bit deeper. You need to go deeper within yourself Go deep. Go deep and answer those big questions. Now for me, those big questions were, Tanya, who are you now? You're not who you thought you were going to be during this time away. And I had to really look at those limiting beliefs that were keeping me stuck. You see, I like to talk about the things that people don't really like to talk about. Guilt, shame, humiliation, fear, unforgiveness, resentment, those things that I call the kingpins that keep us back in life. And here I was again having to face it, the grief and everything. And I gave myself the gift, and I invite you to give yourself the gift to ask those big questions and be willing to go deep and go, what is holding me back? What is the kingpin in my life? You know, like that log that's going down the river and it jackknifes and all the other logs, they bank up. That's what life is like when we've got something holding us back, like resentment or anger or whatever that is. Straighten it up and watch the rest of your life flow. The third thing that I knew I had to do was start trusting my instinct again. It's interesting when what you call certainty, a house, you know, bricks and mortar, which isn't really certainty, when that crumbles away literally and you start having this uncertainty come up. And I started feeling uncertainty in myself again and not trusting myself. I mean, how many of us have made a decision in our life and we've gone and kicked ourselves because we haven't actually followed our instinct? But can you now think about a decision that you made when you made it with absolute certainty and you followed your instinct, you followed that hunch and it was the right decision? Can you think of one? I know that the big decisions that I made in my life were the ones when I followed my instinct and they were always right. Now, following your instinct and going deep, all of those things are great, but faith without works is nothing. You've got to take action. And when I say take action, take intelligent action. Know what your outcome is. Now for me, during the flood, during the repair, I'm not going to go over how bad it was. It was pretty bad. And some days my outcome was, all you need to do, Tanya, today is to get through the day peacefully. All you need to do is keep calm. All you need to do today is not use food for comfort. Sometimes that was my outcome. That's all. And I encourage you to always focus on the outcome, because when you focus on an outcome, whatever it is in your life, personal or professional, then you are going to stay focused on that journey. Be prepared to fail, because you may not, you know, the road might be a little bit zigzag getting there, but at least you're not just going to be throwing spaghetti at the wall hoping something sticks. For me, the cleansing was deep and it was big. Now, we're not always going to have certainty in our life, and that is life, and that is okay. But I'm going to invite you to get that certainty from within and get comfortable with uncertainty. Because the more comfortable you can be with uncertainty, then the more comfortable you will be. And you will live a far more fulfilling, enjoyable life. Your one magnificent life, as I call it. And as Mary Oliver says in her poem, at the end of the day, when it's all over, I want to feel like I was a bride married to amazement. And we've all got that if we want it. The thing is we never give up on ourselves or on our dream. Thank you.